So I wanted to start this video with this here. This is the face mask and visor. So these will be two different files if you get this, and this is the top part. The reason why I'm starting here instead of showing you guys putting it together is because I printed it on two different printers, the Anycubic i3 Mega and the Creality Ender 3, and I would suggest, and I typically do this, if you're going to print a print it on one machine, especially if you're going to split it up, because a lot of machines do like the support different or this or that different, or maybe if you do it on two different prints, there's always going to be like a piece here, a piece there that's going to be a tad off. Like this visor was all done on one and it's not off at all, but these were done by two different printers, top one on one, bottom one on another, and you can see that there was a gap here that's gonna have to be fixed, and it didn't want to go together well at all, the piece from the Creality compared to the piece from the Anycubic i3 Mega. And then this yellow is Creality Ender 3, but then, okay, this top part is Creality Ender 3, and then this blue one here is Creality Ender 3, but this white piece here and everything else down was Anycubic i3 Mega. And the top didn't want to fit. You can see how the Creality Ender 3 side didn't want to fit with the Anycubic i3 Mega side. And these are all sized correctly and everything. They're the same files. I took the exact same file and took it from one slicer and put it into the other. And while it's the same slicer, it's just on different settings. And so now I'm going to have to do a lot of work on fixing that. And then because one piece is off, if just one piece in the first parts are off, it's going to eventually cause a chain reaction, cause multiple pieces to be off. And that's what ended up happening with this. So I try to keep everything as close as possible. But this very last piece that I put in is extremely off. And another thing too, I kind of sliced everything on at a kind of a, well, you can see how that goes that way, and then top kind of goes that way. So I accidentally did it at an angle. That was my fault. And you want to try to get it as straight as possible. It's kind of hard to put the pieces together anyways. But I'm going to have to do a ton of work right here. And you can see just how choppy a lot of this is. It actually, that's how good the print was. Like the Creality. It's actually, they both printed really, really good. And I'll try to, this is you can see the basic print in here of the the Anycubic i3 Mega. And the Anycubic i3 Mega prints way, way better than the Creality Ender 3. It's just a superior machine. But I've been kind of adding super glue and baking soda, and then dremeling it and adding it and dremeling it because I wanted to get a really good single piece. So that's basically what I'm doing at the moment, is going through and dremeling it, and I'm going to get it as close as I can. And I'm going to do something that I don't typically do with 3D printed cosplay. So I've put so many of these together. If you want to know how to put one together, check out any of my other 3D printed cosplay stuff. It's all the same process. So I figured, I'm going to leave that part out for now because I'm going to be starting out with a completely different process. So since this is, this didn't want to go together here, and since that's so far off there and this is off here, I know that there's been several of you guys out there that have printed these off, and you guys have spoken to me about how, you think you're putting it together perfectly, but then, and it's true, if one little piece is off by just a tad bit, then everything starts to go off by that much more of a tad bit. And by the time you get to the last piece, it's huge. It's off by a lot. And so you end up with pieces that are, all over the place. Some people are really good at putting them together, which I typically am. I typically don't have that much trouble. It's just the process of using the Creality Ender 3 and the Anycubic to hurry up and get this thing printed and finished that I messed up, and I wasn't even thinking about that. I haven't 3D printed a cosplay helmet in a while, and so I went ahead and did it anyways. So I'm going to be starting this out. I'm making sure that there are no kind of holes between any of the plastic, just making sure that that's all filled in And I like to use super glue baking soda mixture as kind of like a filler, but I'm not trying to smooth it out as like a, I'm not trying to use it as a Bondo or anything. So what I'm going to be doing next, because I've got it basically as much as I can go. I got that pretty smooth. You can see just how choppy the plastic is. But I'm going to go back over that with the Dremel on medium. And that's going to knock out any of that extra stuff. And then I'm going to sand this all down what I have with a 80 grit sandpaper. And then once I get done with that, because this is multiple pieces printed by 2 different machines, I think it's going to help me be way more oriented by, I'm going to go in here and spray some filler primer on this, just to kind of fill in any gaps that I possibly need, but mostly just to get it in one uniform color. Because one of the problems is this was cut at an angle, but what the actual helmet does is you can see that it goes down and then it has this pop out here. Well, that starts up here on this side, but it's down here on this side. And so having that color change, the 2 different color changes between them, kind of throws me off, and it makes me want to put that little curve right on the line. And if I did that, it would be at an angle. So I really need to get this in one uniform color so I can see how everything slopes without having my eye drawn to the specific colors and where the color changes and stuff. Because when you have multiple colors like this, that's what you look at, that's what you see. It goes together really good like that. So I mean, it fits together. I just need to kind of adjust this side a little bit, but I mean it's pretty good. I've got all the other pieces here. So these are the parts that go in to make the hinge going up and down. This goes in the front. This goes on the front. So I'm going to leave these pieces separate so I can just sand them and paint them separately. And then I'm going to put them on. But the main thing that I just want to focus on today, right now, is I'm going to spray this down with a gray filler primer. And then get one uniform color and really look it over. And then I'm going to take the Dremel to certain areas that I think that I can shape with the Dremel. And then I'm going to go back in here with some Bondo and really Bondo the areas that I need to maybe build back. Like there's you can see here from this angle how that kind of dips in. This is supposed to be one smooth across part here. So that'll have to be built back up because you don't want to go too far down into the plastic, because the plastic tends to start melting when you Dremel it too much. So that'll need to be built back up there to make it even. Let's go ahead and get this thing primer fillered so we can really see what it looks like and see where the parts are going to stick out at, the places that need to be fixed. Alright, so we're just going to take this filler primer here, and I usually, my first coat, I don't usually put filler primer, like I said earlier, until I've got this ready and smoothed and stuff before painting. But so this is going to be a little bit different. All I'm doing is trying to get a uniform color, so I'm not going to put it on extremely thick. I'm just trying to get everything to one color. There is the face. See, you can really pick out the inconsistencies now that it's all one color. But especially here, you can really see where that point is on. I'll put an arrow right there that I really need to fix all the way around where it actually needs to be. And that color is not throwing my eye off. That's awesome. I'm really seeing all the spots that I need to fix in it now. So that was a much necessary. That was a necessary step that I didn't want to take. Don't usually do, but needed to be done for this. Yeah, a lot better looking than I thought it would. It was a good step. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing, I like to save any like failed prints like this for just this part. Here's the Bondo in case I need to. That way I'm not wasting any plastic pieces. Like I usually get, if I don't have any failed pieces, I go get some plastic spoons or something, but you know, stuff starts costing money, and this is already a failed print, and what else are you going to do with this plastic? So I like to save these, so when I get to the processing part of the prints of these cosplays, I can just use that for all my Bondo. So you can't see this right now, but I'm basically just scooping out a big blob of it onto this cork board, and then I'm going to be taking this stuff that you use to mix it, and I'm just going to be making a line over here. Then I'll do all my mixing on the rest of this cork board. So this is all just reuse of stuff, you know. Try not to waste anything because you can use it for other things. And what you can do is just take some of this. I've only got one glove on because I'm left-handed and I don't want to waste gloves. So, being a bit of a cosplay penny pincher right now. I got a little pile out here, then I'm just going to throw that back in there. I'm going to take some with my finger, and I'm just going to mix it up with my finger. Why waste? If I mix it up with that piece of failed plastic, what's that going to do? It's just going to make the Bondo harden around that. With this, I can just take these gloves off when I'm done with this. When I'm done applying it. And then, I'm just going to start applying it. What I'm doing is just putting it on my finger. And this first little bit, I'm trying to just push it into any crevices and stuff. I'm not really trying to get anything straight. Just trying to push it in to any crevices. And then I'll kind of go back more of a straight edge, like an old credit card or something, and really try to straighten this stuff up. But I want to get it in any cracks. Try not to get it in the detail. So around here on the sides is what I consider detail, because that little piece fits right in here and you don't want any of that Bondo in the way of that. All I wanted to do on the front one.